Oh, what is the Yipskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GXHockeyCast. We're on episode 144. Morgan Riley of My Little Hockey Show, where once a week I go through all the major news and what's happenings around the NHL, semi-focused in on the Leafs and the Flames. Those are my two favorite teams, but I'll be discussing all 32 teams on this podcast. But we actually are going to start with the Toronto Maple Leafs today because they've been crushing milestones, y'all. So let's get in there. Let's start with the man, the legend, John Tavares. 1,100 points for Johnny T. And, dude, this guy's been on fire lately. He's been on fire pretty much the whole entire season outside of that rough start that he had because he was incredibly sick, where he lost like 10 pounds or so. It was a really bad sickness. Again, they're professional athletes. They battle through these things, and he did. I mean, his play suffered, but he battled through it. Once John was nice and healthy, man, he's done nothing but been freaking awesome, man. Like, he gets demoted, he gets the captaincy taken from him, even though I don't see it as a demotion. I don't think he saw it as a demotion either. It's just a passing of the torch. It's just what you do now, and yeah, dude, he hasn't lost a beat. Like, everyone, shitting on Tavares, he's terrible. Just because he hasn't hit the heights that he did in his first season as a Leaf, where he scored damn near 50 goals, he's still been in and around a point-per-game player, scoring. He's got 30 goals this year. He's been numerous 30-goal seasons for the Leafs. Like, he's been an awesome addition. Yeah, I don't think he's ever, outside of that first year, and maybe the year that he did score the big goal in overtime to get the Leafs to the second round finally, I don't think he's necessarily lived up to that $11 million billing, but it was a deal at the time. Other teams offered more. He took a hometown discount, and overall, I mean, was it the right move? No, but it was a very rare opportunity that the Leafs took, and it happened to work. I think in the long run, the team would have been just fine, if not better, with the Kadri Matthews 1-2 combo. Would have had a lot more money available, but you know how it was with Kadri at that time. Kadri couldn't stop getting suspended in the freaking playoffs, so you know they really couldn't go in, and if it happened again, Kadri got suspended a third time, that would be a very, very bad look. And yeah, it was literally a no-win situation right there. If he gets suspended in the playoffs for the third time, we're a joke. And what happens? They kind of have a bad trade with Calgary. Kadri goes off, with Colorado, goes off, wins a cup, and yeah, both teams have been missing him ever since. Toronto's been missing him, and is really Tavares has been there, but everyone's like, man, if we just kept Kadri, he was on a great deal, oh well. But I have loved John Tavares. He was a good captain, not a great captain. He's not going to go down as one of the greatest captains of all time. I'll say that. He'll say that. I mean, he's just fucking really good, man. He leads by example. He'll speak up every now and again, but that's not like his thing. He leads by example, and I noticed it a few years ago where he already started to notice, he gets ahead of this. He already knew, I'm not the fastest skater. Eventually, things are going to start to go away, so I'm going to start trying to change the way that I play now, and yeah, man, this is why he's continued to have success, and they haven't seen that drop-off in offense that everyone's been predicting. I mean, I think John's going to be just dandy, man. I think he can still put up some good-ass numbers for the Leafs. I think he could still put up 30 goals for the next couple of years, next few years, who knows. But obviously that all comes down to the contract that the Leafs could or may not re-sign John next season. All looks good, but again, a really traumatic playoff loss could change everybody's situation, right? Or an epic playoff Stanley Cup win can change a whole bunch of things in a positive way as well. So, I am very proud of John Tavares. Loved the guy every single season, defended him every step of the way. When people would get on his ass about shit, I'm just like, man, he's not the guy that we should be putting the blame on all the time, but he took it. And he just continues to produce, man. Continues to produce. Is another great season for John Tavares, and I'm glad to keep him. And I will be very sad if he doesn't stick around. But if he moves on, it's understandable, man. You've had so many kicks at the can with Toronto, and if you don't think they're going anywhere, then yeah, if he leaves, he leaves. So I'm proud of him. I'm really happy for John Tavares, so congratulations on 1,100 friggin' points. And speaking of points, you got William Nylander, Will Nye, the science guy, also on fire lately. Had a hell of a game the other night against the Flyers. Just a whooping right there, straight up against the Flyers. I would have loved to watch it, but regional blackouts. It's a great thing, I know. But, so, Willie's been doing good. 600 points. He's second place in Rocket scoring. He has the second most goals in the league. He has a small opportunity. I mean, he would have to go off. He has 9 goals behind Leon, but Leon is hurt, and he won't be back for like another week or so. So if Willie wants to score 10 goals in the next 2 games or something, we would love that. I would love that. That would be great. I did not expect to see Willie up here in the race. I will admit the goal race has been pretty slow this year, eh? Like, we've had some 60-goal chases in the last few years, and this year it's like, all right, we still don't have a 50-goal scorer yet, and we're 10-ish games away from the end of the season. So, yeah, I think across the board, maybe the high-end scorers are a little bit lower, and scoring is down this year, but not drastically, but it's definitely down over the last couple years. We had multiple 60-goal scorers a couple of seasons ago, but this year, man, it's that really drastic drop-off for Matthews. And I probably had a discussion coming into the season, losing the guys that they did, Bertuzzi and whoever the fuck else they lost over there. Anyway, they had goals that were coming off of the board for the team, and the chances of Matthew hitting damn near 70 goals again, not impossible, but not very likely. Like, it could go down. 69 goals, very nice. That could go down as Matthews' career high for a season. It could very well be that way. He's in his prime now. The team is shifting the way that they play, and that might be the peak right there. Like, by time, who knows, once Berube's done, Matthews may not be scoring that way anymore. And right now, this season, it's, taking a drastic drop. He's not even at 30 goals yet. And yes, obviously, he's playing injured. I'm still I'm happy he played in it, but that Four Nations thing, man, as the Leafs, I would have probably had that talk with him, like, hey, maybe you might not want to play that because you kind of already seem tired. And now, ever since after that Four Nations tournament, like, the team looks exhausted, and the stars on the team especially, like Marner, he's hanging in there pretty good. Same with Willie, but Matthews already went into it kind of under the weather, not sick, but he was already not fully 100%, and then he played his ass off in that tournament. Maybe didn't make the biggest impact, but he was playing hard defensively, and it was a hard tournament, and he went right back, started playing with the Leafs again, and they've been running him hard this year, playing power play, penalty kill, big minutes, all that. So, yeah, he looks exhausted, can definitely use a break, and there's been some rough travel for the Leafs. I know it's a big talking point all the time on the Steve Dangle podcast. Games back-to-back with travel, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I know, it is rough, like, I get it, but, like, personally, I've never flown on an airplane. I understand the wear and tear of traveling. Like, I've been stuck in a car. Like, I've, just recently where I've gone on my wrestling trip where I drive to Oshawa and then I go on the GO train to Toronto, and that just traveling there and back and then being stuffed into a little chair, and yeah, man, you get stiff. So, okay, maybe I'll talk myself off of this argument, but, travel sucks, but you can sleep on the plane. It may not be the most comfy thing, but I imagine they're seated fairly nicely on planes. I don't know. But regardless, all teams travel. Yes, absolutely. Some teams have way worse travel than other teams. Like, Vancouver's definitely got some rough travel because they're way over on the other side of the coast. And when they got it, all those teams on the coast got to make rough trips for the east side, but equal side anyway. I don't talk about that too much. Like, everyone has to do it, man. So it's, I have, on my fantasy team, I have a lot of centers, and it was Matthews' back-to-back Nashville game. I did not feel good about that one, and I had the right to not feel good about that one because they fucking blew that game. Holy jumping. I saw it coming. It was a trap game. They were playing Nashville at home, and Nashville's been decent at home. That's like pretty much where the only place they've been able to win is at home. And then with the Leafs coming in with the back-to-back, the travel, I was like, yeah, probably not going to win this game, and they didn't. They started hot, and I was like, well, we'll see if they're able to hold on to that. And, man, they've really been pushing that this year, man, hanging on to those leads, and they've definitely been more successful this season than any other season that I can remember in recent memory, but they're still bad at it. They're still not good at holding leads like this. And the outshot thing that's been going on all season, you'll look at the game and you're like, geez, it's like fucking 38 shots to 15 Leafs opponent. You're like, what is going on? But the Leafs are winning 4-3. So it's like, all right, they're taking really efficient shots, but you don't always. I don't know, man. It's there's definitely some things they're playing around with that, like, yeah, they're trying to play that playoff style, but right now, yeah, they've had some good wins here in some up and downs. Definitely up and downs with the Leafs right now. I don't feel great about them going into the playoffs. Discussed that last week, but there's still time to get it going. We had the Morgan Rielly discussion last week. I think this is really going to be the make or break it for Morgan Rielly if he doesn't pull that Magic Morgan playoff beast mode that he always seems to pull out. I don't know if Morgan Rielly has much of a future, and it could be an ugly break between Morgan Rielly and the Leafs if it has to go down that way, and kind of looking like it might. And how what I mean by it getting ugly is the fact that Morgan has like a full no move trade, like nothing, so they're gonna have to play some dirty tactics, thinking things like Jacob Trouba where they could threaten waivers, but apparently they can't even do that. But if they want to get rid of you, they will absolutely get rid of you, man. They can just make things very uncomfortable for you, and I would hate to see that happen to Morgan Rielly, the final warrior on this team that's still left from the dog days way back before the Matthews and Nylander and them showed up. He's the last guy, and I love him. I love Morgan Rielly. I have not been shy. I've been calling him out this year. It's not been a good year. Probably the worst year he's had in a long time, possibly ever, considering the team that he's got around him, the support that he's been given on his defensive side. He really is running out of excuses. It could definitely be a really hard adjustment with Morgan Rielly and Craig Berube's system. He's definitely got a different role in mind for Morgan Rielly, and what Morgan Rielly wants is to be an offensive defenseman, but he's just, I don't know, if he had a good slap shot or something, that would really, really help, but I don't know, man, he's making a lot of defensive mistakes, and he hasn't been pairing too good with Carlo as of late, but it's new, so we'll see, man. I'll really have the magnifying glass out for him on the playoffs, but I don't know, man, I'm nervous, I'm clearly nervous, but regardless, William Nylander, 600 points, that's fantastic. And also, another little milestone here for the Leafs franchise history is Austin Matthews has the most go-ahead goals in Leafs history now with 142, passing Matt Sundin at 141. So, fuck, man. I remember Matt scoring a lot of clutch goals, and the fact that Matthews is already passing him, and he's, maybe halfway through his career, maybe not even, kind of deal. So, just goes to show a lot of things. I mean, how good Matthews is. Obviously, he's very good. Sundin, I know his numbers maybe not be the most impressive, but take it with a grain of salt. The guy played through the clutch and grab era, the dead puck era, and he was always generally a point per game, which was like the elite of the elite at the time. Very, very consistent throughout that era of hockey, but Matthews is flying by all those guys. He's going to be crushing the goal records, but yeah, man, he's the guy that goes out there and scores the clutch goals. When they need a goal, he goes out there and gets it. Just this year, obviously, he's just been very, very off. Numerous people I talk to, we all say the same thing. I have never seen this guy miss the net more this season than ever. I don't know what's going on. Things that is cash money, he's missing it. I just feel like he's definitely shooting higher a lot more often now, which, he really hasn't. He likes to shoot kind of everywhere, man. That's what's been so dangerous about him. He can cover up that shot very well and pretty much put it wherever daddy wants, you know what I'm saying? But I see him shooting high a lot right now. I don't know if that's him just trying to... He knows that you got to get those pucks up in the playoffs, but I don't know what's going on here. Like, again, obviously, whatever's ailing him is definitely bothering him. There's definitely a stamina problem, or he's gassed, man. He's tired. He's been playing too much, and I would not be against them sitting him, having a rest, especially on a back-to-back or something. You don't want to risk a serious injury. So I wouldn't be against it, but I am fully aware they are right in the hunt for that top spot in the Atlantic. Right now, as I'm recording this today on Wednesday, they are the Toronto Maple Leafs at the top. But Florida and Tampa is right behind them, right behind them, if not tied with them, I think. So, and they're right in the same boat. Same amount of games left and all that stuff. Now, they're all kind of playing fine. Tampa was doing quite good there, but I think it's right now it's up for grabs, whoever wants it. And the Leafs, in classic fashion, when they have the slam dunk, they can beat Nashville, a team they should be beating, even with the back-to-back and all that. They should still be beating them, and Tampa lost and Florida lost, and then the Leafs had the chance to take it, really get a little bit of a stranglehold, get a little bit of a gap, and they blew it. So, that's the same things that have always that have been there, just mentally. That's still a problem with the Leafs, man. Like, when it's crunch time, when shit gets hard, when it's time to cash in on your opportunities, they don't. So, time and time again, we'll see. But I'm still seeing things with this team that I'm just like, oh boy, we'll see, man. We'll see. Okay, so let's move on. Also, we need to talk about Matthew Knies. So he is the first Leaf. Now, not in entire history, at least in recorded history. Now, this recorded history is like in the early 2000s, something like that. So it's still crazy, but Matthew Knies is the first Leaf to have 25 goals and 150 plus hits in a season. And his comparables are Tom Wilson, Brady Tkachuk. And Matthew Tkachuk would probably be in there as well if he wasn't injured this season. But yeah, man, the kind of player that we've been asking for a very long time, we got one. We got the unicorn, and his name is Matthew Knies. We have our Tom Wilson. We have our Brad Marchand, if you will. Matthew Knies is much bigger than Brad Marchand, and I don't really see Knies hitting like the 100 points. But regardless, this guy's a monster, and he's getting better and better and better. So this is great. Again, we've talked about the extension last week of what that could look like for Matthew Knies. In a beautiful world, I'm hoping like 8x8, something like that. But it's, I hear 9, I hear 9.5, I hear 10, so it's going to be high. It's definitely going to be high, but it sounds like it's going to be worth it for a guy like this, something that is not readily available and is always wanted by numerous teams. And you don't always have to pay an arm and a leg for these players, you know what I'm saying? Look at Olivier. Now, I'm not saying Olivier's on the level of Matthew Tkachuk and stuff, but he just got locked up for like $3 million. And that's a good quality, like, bottom six power forward grinder. Guy that can hit, he could fight, but he can also put in goals. Like, on a good year, he can have 15 to 20 goals, which is a coveted asset to have, especially for a team that has playoff aspirations, though Columbus is falling out. But you know what I'm saying, man? Like, because he doesn't score, like Matthew Knies wouldn't be a point-per-game player, but he clears the front of the net. He's an animal in the corners, hunting pucks, and he's getting bigger and stronger and faster, and who knows, man, eventually he might become a true, like, heavyweight of the NHL. If he can start fighting and scaring off teams and adding that edge to his game where you are intimidating other teams when you're just your presence on the ice, like how Tom Wilson is. Look how good this guy is now. He's always been good, but Tom Wilson got 30 goals, y'all. 30 freaking goals for Tom Wilson. You want to know why he's been offensively better lately? Because he doesn't have to fight and be a goofball all the time now, because the league knows. Like, all right, don't fuck with Tom. Don't get him going. And now Tom just scores. He's like, I'll just put pucks in the net, and if anyone fucks around, I'll just stare at them, and they'll fucking back off. And that's what I'm hoping Knies will turn into eventually for the Leafs here. And if they can get him locked in and around that $8 to $9 million for 8 years, that's going to be great long term for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And yeah, ride that horse while you can. Once that 8 years is up, we'll have a different tune, and we'll see how beaten and battered that body is. But hopefully he's got a couple of Stanley Cup rings on those fingers, and everything will be okay. But very impressed with Matthew Knies. I mean, I find myself not really, I definitely love the player. It's just I don't really notice him a lot when I watch. Now again, I will admit, I have not been watching very, very intently this season. Generally, the games that I get to watch that aren't blacked out, or games that nights I'm working, the games that I put on are generally duds. It's just the Leafs are not playing very good, or the game itself is just not very competitive. Whether it's just it gets out of hand, like early with the Philadelphia game, it was 5-1. I was like, all right, well, there that is. So that's how it is. And like I said, I'm a spoiled rotten Leafs fan now, and I just want my playoff games. And I know the team is good enough to make it. There's definitely going to be bumps in the road, and I have enjoyed watching them play a different. I enjoy it in terms of results, defensive results. Watching the Leafs this year hasn't been as much of a treat, definitely, as other seasons. You don't have Austin Matthews scoring, if he's not scoring ridiculous amount of goals, I'm not having as much fun. And I imagine he's not having as much fun either. But knowing Matthews, wins is more important right now than goals. Like, you don't see him going, oh, fuck, I wish I was scoring more, blah, blah, blah. He's not whining about that shit. So I think at this point, Matthews and also, I think the captaincy has definitely, I don't think it's the reason he has dropped from 69 goals to sub 30 goals. I don't think it's bearing that much weight on him, but I think it is definitely giving him something else to think about. Maybe it adds another edge to his thought process, where maybe if I want to bring the guys up, I don't know, imagine there's a million things that's going through that guy's mind at any given point, at any given day. But regardless, Leafs, they're battling it out for that Atlantic top spot. It would be great if they can get it. If they can get that top spot, it would look like they're probably going to get the Ottawa Senators. As of right now, that is their best percentile of a team that they're going to get. Tampa Bay's right there as well. Last I saw was 40% Ottawa, 35% for Tampa, and then whatever remaining percent for Florida. I'm not going to do math right here. I'm not going to embarrass myself. How dare you? But Ottawa, Toronto, obviously, everyone's saying that's the light matchup for Toronto. I'm not taking the Senators lightly. I won't take any team lightly no more after the embarrassment of the Montreal Canadiens, where I thought we should and could have and should have slaughtered that team, but didn't, because of a little guy called Carey Price and fucking what's that son of a bitch that fucking scored that Dano, and unbelievable. So I will not, if you make the play, your team makes the playoffs, I can't couch you out. So, things like Ullmark, the Brady Tkachuk factor, Sanderson's been ridiculously good, and yeah, man, it's Ottawa, and who knows, I did talk about it with a couple guys at work, one guy's like, we should be able to get into a Leafs Senators game in Ottawa for $100. I'm like, you're on crack, first off, that's insane. We'll talk about the Leaf prices going up in a second, but that's crazy. But we also discussed the fact that the last time the Senators were in the playoffs, their buildings weren't selling out. They didn't have sellouts in the playoffs, which is a bad look. Now, I think that is more to the location of the Ottawa's arena. I think that plays into a big part of it. I don't think it's the fan base not showing up. I think it's just a very inconvenient spot to have put your arena, and they're working on that. But I think this year they will show up. It's a different owner, it's a different atmosphere this time around, and things are in a better spot than organizationally than the Ottawa Senators were last time they were in the playoffs, right? At least I hope so. So I'm hoping for a sellout in Ottawa. Now, if the Leafs and the Sens do play, it's definitely going to be, I don't know what they're going to do in Ottawa. I don't think they can tell you as a Leaf fan you can't come in here. I know they were trying that shit in America where it's like, oh, no, you can't come in here, American fans, or whatever the shit. Stupid, but I mean, that's what happens in Ottawa when the Leafs come to town. It's like a 60-40 split. Sometimes it's even greater than that. It can be like a 70-30 split, Leaf fans overtaking the Ottawa building, and it's basically a Leaf home game. And I imagine prices will be adjusted for that. They're like, oh yeah, we know the Toronto fans are going to be coming here, so all the way up to $1,000 a ticket. There we go. Oh, just keep that there. All right, so get your mortgages, double up your, however that works. Put a lien on your house or whatever you got to do to go see those games, I guess. I do not recommend it. I'm sorry. Now, maybe in Ottawa and in Montreal, I would much prefer to go to the Montreal game right now. Their building has been ridiculous lately. That Colorado game was nuts. Regardless, Ottawa versus Toronto in the first round, yeah, that is a favorable matchup for the Leafs. They're just a deeper team top to bottom. Goaltending would be a factor for sure. It depends which Allmark decides to show up for that series. If he can steal games, he can lose them games. So he's a little bit inconsistent. Then you have the Leafs tandem, which is kind of unproven, right? You have Stolarz, who's been great this season, kind of struggling. I wouldn't say struggling, but he's going through a little bit of a wobble right now. And maybe a little bit of Joseph Woll wobble. He's been kind of wobbling through the season a little bit here, but that he's a younger goalie, so that's why Stolarz is here. But, I get nervous with these really good tandems in the regular season. Then when it comes playoff time, they struggle to figure it out, or you know what I'm saying. I kind of get reminded of St. Louis. I think it was Halak and Elliott was that 1-2 combo, ridiculously amazing combo. But then come playoff time, it just wasn't there until fucking what's his face showed up, Binnington. Regardless, it's the Leafs playoff curse. It's the Sens. They're just cursed in general, so one of the curses would have to break. Rather, the Sens break the streak on Toronto owning them in the playoffs and move on. Regardless, I think we all win as fans. We get that. Ottawa makes the playoffs. Their fans are going to be happy enough. Leafs will be sweating like we always are. I would sweat any opponent, even if we freaking pulled the San Jose Sharks in the first round. I'd still be sweating. I'm like, yo, fucking Macklin Celebrini and the boys, watch out. Askarov, I'm terrified right now. So it doesn't matter what team the Leafs get. I'm terrified. I'm nervous, and that's just the way it's going to be, I guess, for me as me being a Leaf fan and all the trauma that I've been through. So there's not really any team that the Leafs could pull that I'm like, oh, jeez, they're going to just mutilate them. Not me. I don't feel that confident against any team. So, personally, I would love to see them pull the Sens. That'd be sick. I am quite a fan of the Leafs Tampa series. It's very, very good hockey, very enjoyable. It's stressful for myself as a Leaf fan, but damn, those series have been very, very good, and they go to 7 generally, and it's just damn good hockey, which would leave Montreal with Washington, I believe, and that could be really fun. There was I remember the very wild Halak series back in the day where Halak on the Habs just robbed the Penguins and the Washington Capitals that year. That was a lot of fun. So regardless, I know there's the conversation of the playoff matchups not being fair, and I'll change the format and all of that. I don't know what people are so upset about. First round is the best round of hockey. And when you're getting a matchup, if you're going to get a matchup of Colorado-Dallas, I think I would rather see those two fight each other in the first round than the third round, because the first round they're going to be more healthy than they will be in the third round. And they're going to have they're going to be the most full of their team than they will be in the third round, personally. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people that don't like it, but I think the first round is the best round in the playoffs. That's the craziest one. Anything can happen. And there's just really isn't that much of a change, man. I know it would make the Dallas fans sleep a lot better at night that they don't have the boogeyman Colorado Avalanche in the first round. But who's to say that you're going to slaughter whatever other team? It's not a guarantee that you're going to beat that team. There's no, like I said, I have learned in the past, man. Now there have been some guarantees in the past. We've seen it, where we've seen some sweeps, and you're like, oh yeah, like the Capitals last year when they made it, they got destroyed. They had no right to be there. But, I don't think there's going to be that many matchups in this. I feel it's pretty wide open, man. It feels very wide open. I think there's an edge on the Western side. I think the teams on the West are a little stronger overall, but that only means that they're going to beat each other down a little bit harder than the East. So the East could possibly get a win here. Regardless, that's my opinion on that. I know they talked to Gary Bettman, and he's like, I'm not changing nothing. I'm like, whatever, man. I don't care. No matter what format you're gonna choose, someone's going to get pissed. Someone's going to be mad, and you're still going to get those upsets where 8 seed takes out the 1st seed. It's happened before. It'll happen again. So then people will complain, oh, change the format to this. So then they're just looking for favorable matchups for their own team. I'm just looking for the best matchups, period. And I think the best matchups happen in the first round. So I'm totally fine with Leafs and fucking Tampa meeting in the first round, fine. I'm fine with Tampa and Florida meeting in the first round. One of those 2 big teams gone. I'm fine with Dallas, Colorado meeting. One of those 2 teams are gone. At least we got that matchup. I think what would be more criminal is if those 2 didn't get the opportunity to meet the way those teams are built this year. I think that would be a robbery if they didn't get a chance. So at least you're getting it. I'm happy you're getting it in the first round than no round at all. That's my 2 cents on that. So I think... we got to talk about this with the Leafs, because I legitimately flipped out a little bit. So I heard, I think it was on this, I think it was Steve Dangle podcast, they said they're jacking up the Leafs ticket prices 25%. And I thought, I lost it. I was like, that's fucking criminal. These people should be put in prison. Like, that is fucking insane. They're already like 4,000% overpriced. A regular fan already can't get in there. It's already too business, and now you've just pretty much eliminated your blue-collar fan from a Toronto Maple Leaf regular season game. Like, it's impossible. It's just not worth it for the price, and no matter how big of a fan you are, man, I cannot justify that price. This was years ago now, so let's say I paid $400 to sit in the gold section, which is the nice section. I didn't have a good time down there, but that's where I sat. And so 20% on that would be a lot more money, and I wouldn't have any more fun down there because everything's more expensive, and I didn't get any extra fucking shit down there. Nothing cool happened down there other than I yelled at Robin Lehner, and he got a shutout and shut my mouth up, so that's really key. So now you're telling me that ticket is now like $500, and yeah, I'll never go again. Never going again. Like, that's just all there is to it. I cannot justify that price. I couldn't recommend any time where that price would be recommended. And then that's not that. Now you talking playoffs? You fucking insane? You're gonna have to sell your leg to try and even get a ticket. Like, it's gonna be like $4,000 to see a playoff game, and you might not see them win. Like, you're not guaranteed to have a good time. Both the times I went, they lost both times. One was way worse than the other. The first game I went to was Winnipeg versus Toronto, and it was like a 3-2 loss. It was a good game. It was still really expensive, and my wife got sick, so it wasn't a great time. No fan interaction. It was fucking crickets in there. And then I went to a wrestling show, and I learned what it was like to have fun at a live show in Toronto. You know, I've been to concerts, had tons of fun there. Been to a Leaf game. It's like fucking being in detention, man. Sit down, shut up, and have no fun. Like, I don't get it. And here we go. So, yep, they're gonna jack the prices up. Regular fucking blue collar fan like me and you, we're not going in there no more. Like, we're priced out, and it's only gonna get worse, man. Like, the dollar's getting lower, and yeah, man, the Leafs just continue to make money and gouge their fans. It's fucking criminal, and you're seeing how other teams, like, I look at Utah, I look how they're treating their new fan base, nice cheap food, fucking doing everything they can to get them into a playoff spot, and just really treating their fans good. And Toronto doesn't, man. They just don't. Like, yeah, you got cool merch or whatever, but you want me to pay fucking $3,000 for a coat, and like, what are you doing, man? Like, absolutely shameless. It's criminal, and I'm not approving of that. Ticket prices are insane in Toronto, absolutely insane. And the sad thing is, they don't care, because they're selling out every building every night, because they're sending them out to businesses, and the businesses give it out to their corporate friends, and it's just a big fucking corporate meeting in there every night, and it sucks, man. It absolutely sucks. I would love to see the Leafs arena like the Bell Center, where they're fucking breaking like decibel records in that building, because they're on a regular season game, on a big comeback, and like, you can tell the Habs fans are actual fans of hockey. They're not just cheering goals. They're not just cheering like, I don't even know if the Leafs fans actually cheer for goals anymore because, like, most of them get called back or reviewed. But at the Bell Center, when they make a nice breakout pass, they go, and they're cheering for that shit because they fucking enjoy watching hockey. They're not there for a business meeting trying to get frickin' Mr. Thompson to sign the frickin' big deal over here, and I just, oh, hey, now, God. So annoying. So friggin' annoying. Yeah, man, I really just don't sound like a Leaf fan. And honestly, if I can reverse time, I would have definitely picked an organization that treats me better and stuff like that, man. Like, I got jealous hearing about things like, it sucks the Coyotes are gone, but, like, man, they had some, like, you can get season tickets for, like, a few, like, $1,000 maybe, and they're gonna feed you and give you all the drink you want every night. Like, man, I wish I can do that with my sports teams, but I can't because it's for the rich people only. It's for the elite, and I'm not elite. Like, it's ridiculous, and I don't feel you have to pay to get into the square. It's all money gouging, and I don't like it. Like, all the pain that you guys have put us through, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the mid 2000s, the 2010s, you're gonna put us through 40 fucking years of shit, and you're still gonna be raising the prices. Have they? I mean, kind of a silly question. Have they ever lowered the prices? Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Absolutely not. Oh, sometimes it is just not fair. You know what I'm saying? But, oh well, there you go. So they're going up. What are you going to do about it? Well, what Washington's going to do about it, they're going to sign Jacob Chychrun to a big-ass extension. Holy jumping. $9 million per season for Jacob Chychrun for the next 8 years. All right. Let's break it down. Let's get in on that. So that's a big money deal right there with some risk. There is absolutely risk to this one for sure because Jacob Chychrun has only played one full season healthy in his entire career. So let's talk about that. So this season, he has played very healthily. 66 games, he's got 18 goals as a defenseman and 26 assists. Very, very impressive, especially the goals. Jacob Chychrun's always been a goal-scoring defenseman. He is a left shot, 6'2", and he's only 26 years old. I mean, it feels like he's been in the league forever, which, I mean, he kind of has been. He's, 8 years as a pro, so he's kind of a veteran now in hockey sense, but he's still only 26 years old. So he's amidst his prime right now. He has been jumping from some teams, but definitely looks like he's found a home here in Washington, so good stuff. We got, hold on now. So, yeah, okay. 18 goals this season. Let's take a look at his career. So like I said, he's only played one full season healthy, and that was last year. So a good start, and he looks like he's tracking to play another full healthy year this year. But prior to that, man, he didn't play a healthy season for 7 straight years. So yeah, the most he played was 68 games. That was his rookie campaign. And yeah, so he's always been dealing with injuries. It's been a big part of his career lately. But last year, with that, he got that trade to Ottawa. It started quite well for him there. Like, pretty decent start. And last year was a good year, I think. 14 goals, 27 assists, 41 points. Now, he was a nasty minus 30, but he wasn't really what Ottawa needed at that time, but he still performed quite well. Gets shipped to Washington, and he's been a ridiculous fit. Like, he is the closest thing to Mike Green that they've had back there since Mike Green. And he definitely, with this contract, he looks like he is primed and ready to take over the role for John Carlson once he's ready to call her a quit, or move down or whatever. They got their next guy. Like, this guy is ridiculous. And he has scored over 10 goals, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I mean, not as impressive, but he's been tracking 10-plus goals every season of his career pretty much. But he's hit 18 goals twice. He had an 18-goal season in 56 games in 2021, which was a ridiculous season. Absolutely ridiculous. He followed it up with kind of a dud, injury-riddled season. Then he found himself traded. So he bouncing back pretty good, earns himself a nice big contract where it looked like, at one point, oh yeah, this guy fucking, here's a blank check, just sign whatever you want. And he lost his way, but he found his way back. So he got paid for sure. But like I said, 8 years with a track record of only being healthy 1 of the 8 years he's been playing in the NHL, it's definitely risky. He's 26. He could have finally fixed what ailed him. I can't remember what surgeries he's had, but maybe he's finally fixed it this time because he's played healthy last year. He's playing healthy this year, and if he can keep being healthy, this guy's like put him money in the bank for 15-plus goals every year on the Capitals' blue line. The way that the Capitals have retooled themselves, like, dude, the Protas on a ridiculous contract. Apparently they got his brother as well, who is also a huge, giant mutant of a human being who's also quite good at hockey, so that's there. They got, like, prospects coming up. Leonard. They got Connor McMichael is emerging. Like, yeah, dude. Like, this team has looked Thompson. Oh, yeah. So, looking really good. Good signing. A good signing with risk, for sure. The way that I said we have to say it every single time we talk about contracts, but with the salary cap going up, that's going to age pretty nicely. Now, you got comparables like Darnell Nurse. You got the Cale Makars and stuff like that, but I think it's pretty good, man. You could have, like, this guy could be a 20-goal scorer on the blue line for the Capitals for a very long time here. So a 50-plus point defenseman, I think you can do worse. So it's not I think it could be very good. Be very, very, very good, or it could be an injury-riddled thing, and maybe this is the best season that he's going to have. But regardless, the Capitals get that big contract signed, and that is pretty sweet. Or should I say pretty great? Because the great chase, baby, Ovechkin, he is 6 goals away. Can he do it? I mean, you got what? Over 10 games to go. I think there's like 10 games for them to play. He can go off. He can absolutely do it. We've seen him do it before. I mean, in his younger days, when he needed 3 goals, and he had 3 games left to get 50 goals, and they're like, we're shutting you down for the final 2 games or the final game, something like that. He goes out, scores the hat trick, what's up? And then the next game, he's in the crowd fucking high-fiving everybody. Like, yep, I'm the best, I'm the man. Who's to say that this guy couldn't do that? And would that be a great boost for the Capitals going into that playoff run? Like, Ovi completes the chase, and now you got like all that. You got the hype. You got that hype train behind you. Even I know Gretzky's in a little bit of heat right now, but you get that hype train all behind you, and like, who knows? That could be the momentum that the Capitals can just go running with in the playoffs and just mow down their first round opponent, and off they go to the second round, man. And who knows? I'd be so down to see OV go on another deep run in the playoffs with this new, younger, mean. I like this team, man. It's a lot of fun. Definitely really cool. But do you think he's going to get it done this year? I think he can. I want him to, of course. I think it would be really a great cherry on top to the end of the season to have Ovi beat the chase, complete his mission, and then start a new mission. While his next mission is going to be to beat Gretzky's, like, overall goal totals, which, you know, if you're including playoffs, which I don't count. Like, that's totally different. The record is career goals, and that doesn't count just career regular season goals. That playoffs is a different thing, different beast. And that's my opinion. I think scoring goals in the playoffs is way harder than the regular season. So if Ovi's not there, that doesn't mean he's... Oh, no, you could definitely still put up that conversation, like, is he truly the best goal scorer? In my opinion, yeah. His consistency has been ridiculous. No, he doesn't have the high-end totals that Gretzky had, you know, the 90-goal season, stuff like that. But Ovi has the consistency, and I think that's what makes him the greatest goal scorer of all time. You see Gretzky's final season, he had 9 goals. Like, his goal scoring really dropped off, especially around this age that Ovi is still crushing it in. He is crushing it still with goals. So, yeah, I'm of the mind that he is the greatest goal scorer of all time. But that's just me, though. So let me know, what do you think about Ovi and his great chase? I want it done this year. Then we don't have to talk about it all summer long. Like, oh, do you think you'll get it done on game 1 or game 2 or game 80? It's like, let's just get it done. And then he can focus on the playoffs, and like, let's just use that as a big kick in the ass to send Washington just in there foaming at the mouth to destroy whoever they happen to pull in the first round, which could be Montreal, which, hey man, some people got to get sacrificed. I think it would be a really fun matchup. I would like to see that matchup, some young, new fucking blood in the playoffs. Even though Washington was there last year, their team's completely different this time around, right? So I'm down with it. I'm down. I want Ovi to get it done this year. It's definitely a task. It's not easy to score 6 goals in like 10, 11 games. That is difficult. Very difficult, but hey, maybe they pull a team that's out of it. Ovi gets a hat trick, and then just get a couple of fucking empty netters. I don't give a shit. I would prefer if he didn't break the record on a empty net. I would really love for him to score a goal on a goaltender to break the record. I just think that pop, that crowd, I think that would just make it so much better. Anyway, that's my opinions on the Great Chase. I want her to get done, and fuck yeah, dude. Even though it's been a lot of fun, I don't think it would be as sweet if he goes into next year like 2 goals away or something. I think it'd be so much better if he can get it done this year. We're coming in, I don't think there was very many people like, oh yeah, he'll get it done this season. I'm pretty sure I was of the mind, gonna be sometime next year. I did not think we would be here where he has a really decent shot at breaking the record this season. So congratulations to Ovechkin. Let's talk about NHL expansion. We're talking about this again. This time, I don't think there's really anything all that new here, honestly. It's just that Houston is starting to get a lot of traction, a lot of movement going on there. And I've also heard New Orleans has been in on that mix there. And of course, Atlanta has been in there as well. So it doesn't sound like they're in the mode to expand like 2 teams right away. It should be pretty soon though. Like I don't fucking know, but the one that caught me is that the next team that comes into the league is going to be quite expensive. They're talking about $2 billion expansion fee this time around. And man, Vegas just continues to look more and more insane what Vegas was able to do, man. Like they hit the fucking jackpot. What was it? 450, maybe 500 million or something like that for Vegas. And arguably one of the most successful franchises, gotta be one of the best starts for a franchise ever. They have been dominant ever since they entered the league, and they're just incredibly entertaining. It's been beyond successful there. And then Utah, even theirs is starting to look pretty good. I think, what was that, 650, maybe 700? Seattle, I think, did a pretty good job there. Now, their success was limited because they fixed the rules up there a little bit so that teams didn't get completely just absolutely dominated by Vegas in the expansion draft. But yeah, it looks like this time around this is why I think it's going to take a little bit more time, because this is a big financial decision and a big, these things don't happen immediately. There's a lot of parties involved, like the Atlanta one. Like that's a lot of these are like groups now, investment groups, where it's not just one dude like, here's a bunch of money here. Okay, sweet, it's done. Even it didn't work like that either. But now it's a bigger thing with more people, more moving parts. So regardless, I mean, Houston is the biggest market out there that they haven't gone for. That from the numbers, the amount of people there, it's tons of sports over there, all popular. Houston's the biggest market that they haven't gone to yet. And you already have teams. You have a team in Dallas, which Houston, that's in Texas, right? Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, that sounds right. So you'd have more teams in Texas. I mean, I know you're definitely not going to be getting a Canadian team right now. That's just not going to fucking happen. We're pretty much on our way to like a great Canadian depression right here. If I don't know, we might already be in it for all I know. But regardless, I can't see a Canadian team coming here anytime soon. It's just, I don't think a person would want to take that financial chance right now. I don't see any financial advisor saying that's a good idea. But regardless, Houston, sure, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm getting to the, like, how many where's the limit? Like, how many teams is too many teams before we start going, like, all right, the league's getting watered down. I don't think we're at that point yet. We still see players that are good enough to play in the NHL, like quite a few of them in the AHL and other leagues, especially goaltending. I mean, you're not going to fix that with 2 expansion teams, but there are definitely goaltenders worthy of jobs in the NHL that just don't have them. There's just not enough spots. It's changing. A lot of teams are starting to move to a 2-tandem system where you want like 2 good, like starting fringe goaltenders instead of like a bona fide starting backup kind of tandem. Anyway, things, money, all right? Lots of money. A lot of money going to be coming into the league. It's good for the league. I mean, it's not great for the players. Don't get any of that. It all goes to the NHL and stuff like that. So hopefully they use that money to, do cool things like they've done with Amazon Prime and that video series that they're doing. I think that was very well done. The Four Nation tournament, slam dunk. I'm literally wearing a Four Nations sweater that I got nice and cheap off the NHL website. $100 sweater right here. Got it for $29.99. That's how you do it, baby. You fucking wait for the deal. I also picked up a William Nylander Team Sweden jersey. It is a child small, but I have no intentions of wearing it. It looks very cool on my wall, and it was a cool $40. And that's a Fanatic authentic, yeah, it's a children's size, but it looks fucking cool, man. And I don't have a William Nylander jersey, so there you go. I've completed my big. I have all the big guys on the Leafs. I got a Morgan, I got Tavares, I got Numerous, Matthews, got Marner, Willie, and Tavares now. So there you go. Got all the. I even have a Joe Thornton because why the fuck not? Who else do I have? In terms of Leafs. Oh, I got Ed Belfour, of course. I got my Eddie. Got my Eddie. That's my first jersey I ever bought. Anyway, off the jersey talk. Let's talk Pat Maroon. So Pat Maroon, may have forgot. I kind of forgot. He's in Chicago. Still playing, but not for long. Pat Maroon announces this will be his final season. And it was a nice little interview there, a little emotional right there with Darren Panger in Chicago. And yeah, they're like buddies or whatever, and they kind of set it up. But yeah, a nice moment. Not a lot of guys get a Calder shot like that. So, I mean, what a run for Pat Maroon, right? 3 Stanley Cups in a row. And yeah, dude, kind of sucks you're going out with a little bit of a whimper on a shitty Chicago team, but at least you had a role there. You're trying to shepherd the young team. But yeah, dude, I think he played over 800 games, and didn't look like he was going to get anywhere near that. 3 cups. Pretty fucking awesome, man. So congratulations to Pat Maroon. Very interesting career for sure right there. And speaking of an interesting career, let's have a quick chat about Brad Marchand. So some interesting chat around Brad, and his career's getting closer to winding down. He should be debuting in a Florida jersey this Friday. Apparently, that's where he is set up to do his debut here. I'm gonna be rather interested to see him in that jersey. Gonna be strange, and we'll see how that goes. But there's been a lot of talk about Brad Marchand and Hall of Fame. Now, there's definitely 2 sides to this fence. One side is absolutely bona fide Hall of Famer, absolutely. I don't know if they're saying first ballot, but Hall of Famer, 100% yes. And the other side, no. Pretty simple, yes, no. All right, so let's discuss. Is Brad Marchand a Hall of Famer? Personally, I don't think so. I think he is definitely a Hall of Famer in the Boston Bruins history. I think his jersey should get retired. I think all that stuff. I think all that of Brad. But was Brad Marchand ever... He wasn't winning Art Rosses. He wasn't winning individual trophies. He wasn't ever a Conn Smythe winner. He wasn't the biggest part of their Stanley Cup wins. He didn't win any Stanley Cups when he was the captain or when he was the bigger part of the Stanley Cup runs, where he wasn't just the rookie with Tyler Seguin when they won it in 2011. All the bigger runs that he had where he was bigger, they didn't win. They got to the finals, but they never won. So... he had a couple of 100-point seasons. He's had some really good seasons, and he's been a point-a-game player since he was a late bloomer as well, man. No one saw Brad Marchand as an elite talent until he played on a line with Sidney Crosby, and then all of a sudden, he unlocked it in himself, and boom, he comes back, and he was part of the perfection line. He was incredible, but I don't think he was ever the most dominating player in the league. He was maybe a top 10 to 15 player, maybe in those 100-point seasons where he's playing with Bergeron, Pasternak being amazing, maybe a top 5, maybe, but that's pushing it, man. So those are my arguments for Brad not being in the Hall of Fame. Now, there is a discussion of, they did a really cool thing on 32 Thoughts this week where they took all the Hall of Famers, all the forwards, and then they averaged out their point per game, which came out to, I believe it was 0.83 or something like that. A lot lower than I was expecting. But Brad is over that. So he technically slides into that point per game slot for a Hall of Famer. I just still personally don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I just think he was a very good player at points. Top 10, maybe. I really can't see a time where he was a top 5 player in the league. I really don't. But you could make arguments. But that's my argument, is that he's not. I think he is without a doubt a Bruins legend. You can put him in all those Hall of Fames. I just don't think he's a hockey Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Like, I felt like there was some tougher decisions with like Bergeron, because his points were never very high, but his defensive game was so elite. And like, I can't say that about Brad Marchand. Like, yeah, he definitely had some elite like mind games and like definitely some elite slew footing going on throughout his career and some face licking shit like that. But I don't know if Brad Marchand was ever like a very dominating player in any category. Like, he was just a really good all-around, like, two-way forward, power forward, kind of like a smaller power. I don't know, like, he's a very unique player. Like, I don't know, like, I could be absolutely wrong. There may be things about his game that I am missing, but I think he was a great player. One of the, like, an elite, very, very, very elite at times, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's a Hall of Fame career, in my opinion. Yeah, he's got I believe over 1,000 points in 1,000 games. That's great. He's got a lot of great things, but, you know, I don't think Patrick Marleau is a Hall of Famer either. So, I don't know. He's a really good player, but really good players don't get into the Hall of Fame. But I think the Bruins should fucking have a Brad Marchand day, have a parade for the fucking guy, build him a statue, whatever, and give him the biggest fucking nose that's ever been built in statue form. Like, just do it. I don't care. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer. But anyway, you can tell me if I'm wrong, especially if you're from Boston, because I've seen a lot of Brad as a fucking Toronto Maple Leaf fan. But yeah, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. All right, even like. I don't think William Nylander will be a Hall of Famer at the end of the day. I think he'll be a Hall of Famer for the Leafs, but he isn't a Hall of Famer in the NHL. Like, not the career that he's had so far. Like, he's really fucking good. He's an elite player, but not every elite player that's popular or, you know, can have articles written about him consistently makes it into the freaking Hall of Fame. So I won't be shocked if he makes it. I won't be shocked if he doesn't. So that's where that is. And I think that is all I want to talk about right now. Hold on. Actually, no. There is one thing I want to talk about, because I never really look at this, and I looked it up, and it was actually rather interesting. So let's talk about NHL teams with the best prospect pools. So we're just going to do like the top 10 right now. This article was written. Getting this from... Where is this from? Oh, that's a different thing. Oh, I was looking at porn. No, I'm just kidding. I was looking for jersey numbers and the history behind certain NHL numbers. Cause, you know, when I do the episode number, you know, this week 144, I look for a player that was number 44, and that was Morgan. I couldn't remember for the life of me. I was like, I know there's an important number 44, but I had such a slam dunk last week with Kadri, and the week before that with Bozak, and I don't know why I struggled. All right, so we'll start from the top. The best prospect pool in the NHL, according to the hockeywriters.com. And who wrote this, please? If I can find that. Oh, I guess we'll have to go all the way to the top so I can shout you out by Logan Horn, everybody. Logan Horn, nice name, and probably got a good horn. I'm so sorry I said. Okay, here we go. Back to the top. Chicago Blackhawks. Previously ranked 10th in the league, they are now at the top of the league with top prospects in Artem Levshunov, Oliver Moore, Frank Nazar, Sasha Boisvert, and Sam Rinzel. And that's not even including Connor Bedard, because he's already a proven NHLer. He's already in the NHL. So they have Connor Bedard as well. So I'm not going to lie, I hear a lot of Levshunov and I hear a lot of Frank Nazar. I haven't heard anything about Moore or the other two guys, but apparently the Chicago Blackhawks have the best prospect pool in the NHL right now. Makes sense. They've been at the bottom of the NHL for quite some time now, so yeah, they better have a good one. Now this is where it gets interesting. Now you got the Minnesota Wild at number 2, and they're in the playoffs, so that's dangerous, and they got a lot of cap getting freed up next year. Like, this is why Minnesota should terrify you. Their top 5 prospects, goaltender Jesper Wallstedt, Zeev Buyum, Danila Yurov, Liam Ogren, and Caden Bankier. Now, I've only heard of Wallstedt and Buyum, so again, these are all now, they're not bona fide. Well, we don't know for sure until these guys really break out into the NHL. But this is what the hockey market is saying the top prospects are. And that is scary because not all these guys are in the Minnesota lineup just yet, and they're coming. Like, they're coming, man. So you could have Jesper Wallstedt and Gustafsson as the tandem as soon as next year. Like, ooh. And how many of these young guys are going to start getting in there, man? Like, they got some... Minnesota is set up, man. Very, very good. Number 3 is the Montreal Canadiens, previously ranked 7th. Minnesota was previously ranked 5th. So with Montreal... You got the Ivan Davidov, obviously. He is a very, very highly touted prospect. People are already saying, like, yo, if you think Michkov in Philadelphia is good, just wait till Ivan Demidov gets here. So that's got to be very, very exciting for Montreal Canadiens. Got him in a pretty good spot in that draft. What was it, 8th or something he fell to? Insane. David Reinbacher. Seeing this kid play in the NHL, I know there's been some heat thrown at him, but he is a young man, so relax. Logan Mailloux, Michael Haig, and Owen Beck. So Montreal number 3. Number 4, previously ranked number 1, so they've fallen down, is the San Jose Sharks. Now, I don't know if that's because they're not counting Celebrini, but they're top prospects. Igor Shermshov. All right, I tried. Sam Dickinson, Leo Salin-Wallenius, very nice. Philip Bjedstedt, and Quentin Musty. Now, Musty, I remember Musty. He was in the, what's his name? Easton Cowan draft, and I remember him, everyone wanted Muskie to get picked there, and then Cowan got picked, and there was fucking uproar. It was craziness, but there he is. He's in San Jose, and he's one of their top prospects. So that's good. They also have Celebrini there, Will Smith. So that's probably why they dropped, because Will Smith is playing in the NHL. I don't know if they count Eklund as a prospect anymore, but yeah, their prospects are just starting to move into NHL players now. So makes sense that they moved up, or down, I guess. Number 5 is Detroit. And we're still waiting for Detroit to get in there. They have Trey Augustine, Michael Brandzeg Nygaard, Nate Danielson, Axel Sandin Pellikka, and goaltender Sebastian Casa. Those are some pretty big fucking names right there, man. And they really need a couple of those guys to get into the NHL and make an impact. Like, man, I don't know if Trey Augustine is a forward. I know Nate Danielson is, and Axel Sandin Pellikka is a defenseman. They need those guys to get in there and make an impact the same way that Lucas Raymond and Seider have. So Detroit has still got a good prospect pool. They're just waiting for it to all come together, and I know Detroit fans are waiting patiently, and their patience is wearing thin. The Winnipeg Jets are ranked 6th in the league, and they are currently, first, second in the league right now, and they have more great players coming up. So that's terrifying. First on their list is Braden Yager, who they got from Pittsburgh. So that's got to be upsetting for Pittsburgh fans. Chaz Lucius, Brad Lambert, Elias Solomonson, and Colby Harlow, who already has a better beard than you and I. So there you go. Winnipeg got a good prospect pool, a pretty well-built team right now. And if they end up losing Ehlers and he just walks, good chance that Yager, Lucius, Lambert, Kobe, one of those guys going to jump in at some point here. So Winnipeg's in great shape. Then you got the Buffalo Sabres, who are perennially always in and around the good prospect pool because they're always drafting, but they could just never get it together. Previous ranking 2, Winnipeg stays at 6, so they've just consistently had a good prospect pool. Winnipeg does struggle at times, though, to get their prospects to the NHL, so watch out for that. Buffalo, 7. Top 5, Anton Wahlberg, Noah Ostlund, Consta Hellenis, Devin Levi, and Isaac Rosen. Not going to lie, I'm not familiar with any of those names outside of Devin Levi, who we've already seen in the NHL, and, he's getting fucking lit up, man. I really can't blame, his play, but Buffalo, just Then you got Utah Hockey Club at number 8. They got Tija Ginla, my boy, Cole Baudouin, Dmitry Simashev, Daniil Butte, Maverick Lamoureux. Yeah, all right. You got some Frenchies over there, huh? All right, Utah. I like it. Tija Ginla. Can't wait for that guy to get in here. Oh, my goodness. Just Oh, and like, dude, they already have some nice prospects. They got some good shit coming up there in the Utah Hockey Club. Dylan Genther. They got Clayton Keller's already bona fide. I'd say, like, as close to a superstar as you can get. Like, he's just like one rung underneath a superstar. So Utah, future's looking really good, man. If they can make it into the playoffs, oh, that would help out a lot. I don't know if they're gonna make it. Carolina, they got 9th best prospect pool. Now, I think they did they trade one of these guys away? Morrow? I don't think so. So their previous ranking was 12, and we know Carolina's moved off some prospects and stuff like that, but they got Alexander Nikishin, I think he's still there, Scott Morrow, Bradley Nadeau, Dominic Badinka, and Felix Unger-Sorum. So there you go. This team has always been drafting really, really well, so I would imagine that most of those guys are going to be pretty good. And rounding it out at number 10 is the Seattle Kraken. They fall down from number 8, but they still got Julius Mietinen, Carson Rekkov, and Berkeley Caton, Yanni Niemann, and David Goyette. All right, I don't know any of those fucking guys either. My apologies, but hey, those are your top prospect pools in the NHL right now, and shockingly more elite teams in that top 10 than I'd be expecting. Like, I wouldn't consider Minnesota elite just yet, but they're so close, and with the cap coming off and all these prospects coming out, they're going to be elite real soon. Montreal is working their way up. They're in a playoff spot. San Jose's working their way up. Detroit, they seem to be making all the right picks. They haven't been able to emerge just yet. I mean, Raymond, like, their players have, just as a team, they haven't emerged. Winnipeg having a top 6 prospect pool is terrifying because they're built quite nicely. Buffalo's just kind of a giggle, and yeah, man, so pretty interesting right there. So any of your teams, what do you think one of your team that I didn't mention, like for Leafs, for example, like I definitely know they're not going to be in the top. Like let's find where the Leafs are on this, because they have all 32 teams. So let's find where the Leafs are. Let's start from the back, because I imagine they're pretty far back here. Because, no disrespect, but they don't have a lot. So let's, for fun, number 32 is Florida. They just won the Cup, makes sense. You got Boston 31, makes sense. They've spent a lot of draft capital for a very long time. Dallas is up there because all their great prospects are already playing for them. You got Tampa, Edmonton, Vegas, New York Islanders. That's not good because, they did get one. They got one from one of the trades from Colorado, so they brought in a guy. That'll help. You got here's the Leafs, number 25. Top prospects, Fraser Mitten, he's gone. Den Banford, Nikita Grabankin, he gone. Dennis Hildeby, and Easton Cowan. So I don't know if they have these ranked in order of their best or just it's not in alphabetical order either. So I don't know what that is, but I think it's safe to say that Easton Cowan is higher than Dennis Hildeby. Regardless, I mean, going in to the trade deadline, Cowan and Danford were held on higher terms than Mitten or Grabankin. Okay. So Leafs still have their top 2 prospects, but they're not game changers. So, maybe those guys were right. Those scouting reports I read where they're like, Fraser Mitten tops out top 3 or a third line center. Yeah. Okay. So my heart did drop a little bit. I heard that he scored a hat trick, and I was like, in the NHL? I was like, Fraser Mitten scored an NHL hat trick in his first Bruins game. They're like, oh, no, it was in the NHL. I'm like, oh, I don't give a fuck then. Like, jeez, don't come at me with that. I don't care. Like, I thought Fraser Mitten scored a freaking hat trick as a Bruin already. I threw up a little bit, but that's okay. So the Leafs prospect pool didn't get any better, that's for sure. It's, but they've been making good picks, like, second-round picks. They're finding guys. Grabankin was a 5th-round pick, I think. So they're finding people. They've been good at that. I mean, that was kind of a Dubas kind of a thing, I think. Regardless, prospect pool for the Leafs, not very great. So that'll finish it off. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening or watching wherever you're doing that. Just make sure you review the podcast and all that great stuff. Make you an even better person than you already are. Leave a little review. You can leave a little comment on Spotify. You can comment on the episodes on Spotify. That's been a thing for a little bit, but give it a shot. I'll answer it. I'll answer you and stuff. Drop a question. Anything about wrestling, hockey, video games. read out your question on podcast, shout you out, all that great stuff. I upload all these episodes to the YouTube channel, Gamer GX Videos. Go over there, subscribe, follow along, and you can drop a comment on the YouTube channels as well. I believe I'll be moving to Blue Sky here in a little bit. I'll put a link down there once I am good and ready. All right, so no rush on that one, but regardless, in terms of what else you got going on with the podcast this week, I am hoping for a Yakuza 0 review. I'm not like rushing the game, but I am close to the end of it. I would like to finish the main story, but I'm like 55 hours into the game. I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to review it and all that great stuff. So I'm going to be doing Yakuza 0. Oh, I love Yakuza so much. So freaking good. So we'll be doing that. And WrestleCast this week. Going to be regular WrestleCast. I don't think there's any pay-per-views, but if there is a pay-per-view, I'll do a pay-per-view review for whatever pay-per-views we got. So there you go, everybody. Thank you again so much for listening. We'll be back again with some GX Plus Cast.